We have a friend named Laura Mason Caldwell, and you've met her before on the show, and right now she's transitioning from this life to the next. She has breast cancer, and a bunch of folks were coming on Facebook and saying, Laura, we want to buy you flowers. I said, no, don't buy me flowers. Flower it forward. In other words, buy flowers and then give them to someone else. So I love Trader Joe's, and I knew that they had flowers because this is where I buy my flowers. I called Katie Rabin.
And when we heard about Laura's Flower It Forward, we had to be involved, and let me take you and show you your flowers.
Okay, so you got some flowers for us.
We have flowers for you to flower it forward. We've been a part of this community for a long time, and we love giving back. We do donations to all kinds of people and organizations in town.
So thanks.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
have a great time.
We will.
Thanks. Bye.
Man, what did you do?
We would like to give you these flowers. These are from Laura Caldwell. She's a woman in our community who is in the final weeks of her life, and people wanted to give her flowers, and she said, no, I'd like you to flower it forward.
So here's some flowers from Laura Caldwell. Have a great day. You always do. She wanted to pay it forward, so I bring you flowers.
I'd like to give you some flowers. Can I do?
I would like some flowers.
They're from Laura Caldwell.
And people kept trying to give her flowers. Isn't that sweet? So she said, pay it forward. So
If I can real quick tell you, they're from Laura Caldwell. She's a lady in the community.
Hi. These are flowers from a woman named Laura. I want to give you flowers from a friend of mine. Her name is Laura Caldwell.
These are for you. And they're from Laura Caldwell. She's a lady in the community who's in the last stages of breast cancer, and she just wanted to give flowers. Instead of having people give them to her, she wanted them to be given. And so if you guys would, yeah.
Thank you very much.
These are some flowers from Laura Caldwell. Laura Caldwell is in the last few weeks, she's fighting breast cancer, and she's going to pass from this life to the next. And people wanted to give her flowers, and she said, no, flower it forward. So those are for you. Look at everybody says something. I'm going to give you some flowers. These are from Laura Caldwell. And you take these flowers and then maybe go get some flowers or just do something nice for somebody else and tell them it's from Laura Caldwell, okay?
all right.
People on Facebook wanted to give her flowers and she said, no, flower forward. So these are from Laura, so flower it forward and then you can go give some flowers to someone else.
This means a lot. My father just went on hospice yesterday, so this is nice for me.
So you can go get something to your father then.
Yes.
No, thank you so much. No, I'm glad. Those are from Laura. She'd be happy to know you have.
These flowers are for you. They're from Laura Caldwell. She's a lady in the community who's in the end of, battling breast cancer, and she has had so many flowers that she thought up this idea that she wanted to flower it forward. So they're from her, and it's flowering it forward.
Do you think she would be offended if we shared them with people too?
That's what she wants you to do. She wants you to
do.
flower it forward or go buy some other flowers and flower them forward to somebody else and make their day.
We'll do it.
Do something with this because she's like. So who is this Laura Caldwell? Laura's a friend of ours, and she's a woman who's done so much to change the face of women's health care in the state of Oregon. In the future, a lot of women's lives will probably be saved by what she did. Meet Laura Caldwell.
I'd had clear mammograms for 6 years prior to my diagnosis, and I actually had a clear mammogram 2 months before my diagnosis. I had my annual mammogram, and it had come back fine. Started to have pain under my arm, went and had this ultrasound, and had a biopsy, discovered we had cancer. So when I asked my doctor that at that time, why wasn't this caught? Because they said I'd had it for 2 years.
2 or maybe 3.
And I said, why was this never caught? I was doing all the things that I was told to do. And he said it was because I had what they called dense breast tissue. And I remember I talked to him, I said, no one has ever told me I have dense breast tissue. Why has no one ever said this to me? And he said, well, it's not something we usually tell women. I mean, he said that very thing to me, and I thought, well, that's just really absurd. But having dense breast tissue is a risk factor that most women don't know about, and it can increase their chances of having breast cancer, but it's also almost virtually impossible to catch on a regular mammogram, because if you have extremely dense breast tissue, it shows up like cancer, exactly like cancer white. And so I just started writing and just said, who's doing this? What are we doing? This is my story. And I started just by writing letters, wrote a letter to DeFazio, wrote a letter to everyone I could think of to testify in front of the Senate and the House committees on this bill. And we had it passed in June and signed in June. Or it passed in May.
Extremely moving time speaking to the subcommittee.
It was very
because
cool.
It was just days after she had found out that she was going to have brain surgery to remove the tumor, and the likelihood of recurrence was enormously high.